Hey guys, it's July 12th. We're going to go and put this tent blind up in a spot. And it's a fairly delicate situation that I have here. I've got 2 bucks running through here that are big bucks. And I really don't want them to change their pattern. Even though this thing's going to sit here for 2 months, going in right now and leaving too much scent could be a problem. I've gone in and checked cameras in here once every month and a half. I try to pick my days that are really dry, hot days so the scent's not really strong when I go in, the sun burns it off. Right now is tough because the humidity is so strong, it holds the scent longer when you go through an area. So, I don't believe in the spray, okay? The stuff just doesn't work. They can say what they want, it just doesn't work in a real world situation. It's all tested in laboratories. And some of it, if you read it, it will say on replicated human scent. That's great. You killed off a few replicated human scent cells that you have in a petri dish. Problem is, when you walk through the woods, you're constantly shedding human scent. So you spray your clothes and your body, and it works for that 15 minutes that you're standing there next to your truck getting your stuff together. As soon as you walk out in the woods, you start shedding off human scent, and it doesn't stop it. So, that said, what I will do is I'll put on a cover scent. Something that will keep the deer calm. The mix between that human scent and this deer scent will keep the deer a little calmer and won't make them drastically change a pattern. They won't like your human smell being there, but they're not going to hit it, freak out, turn the other way and run. So what we're going to use is this stuff here. You've probably seen it at your local outdoor store. I've used it quite a bit. It's not a miracle cure by any stretch. It doesn't make them go, oh wow, great, this deer. It keeps them calm is what it does. They hit your scent and they don't freak out and run away. They hit it, there's deer scent with it, and they go, oh, a bunch of deer have already been through here, there's no danger, and they continue on their way. And that's what we want, because we're gonna be in there for a few minutes setting this up. We've got to brush it in, we've got to set it up off the beating path. We're going to have to do a little scouting. I got a spot picked out, but we may have to move it. And this will keep everything under control. You know, in the next 3 months, we're going to have rain, we're going to have wind, you're going to have hot sun. It's going to burn off that scent. But in the meantime, you want to keep everything as happy as possible. Because I'm going to need to go in there at some point and sit in this tent blind. And hopefully the deer are still moving past it. You don't want to mess up and change a lot of the patterns that are going on right now. So, I know, I'm long-winded as usual. So we're going to take this in. We're going to go back in here. We've got Oddjobs in here. And a deer I haven't given a moniker yet. He's got the split brow tines. Fairly wide 8. I'm pretty sure if I see him, I'll probably let him go. And I know, you're thinking I'm crazy, but he's only a 3.5 or 4-year-old, I believe. And if he follows true to what he's growing already, if I can give him till 5, he'll be a true giant. And I really would like to see that. Plus, let's face it, I really want his sheds, because I'm a shed nut. But anyways, let's go in. I'll show you how I set up a tent blind. It may be the same as everybody else. It may be different. I don't know. But for those of you who don't use tent blinds, and those of you who are watching that knows me, I detest tree stand. I don't like the angle of shot that you make on it with a tree stand on that downward shot. I don't think it's as effective as a good level broadside shot. I may be wrong, but I don't like tree stands. So let's show you how I do it. Well, we picked out a spot. I'll show you what I got. This is a intersection here of a bunch of different roads. that way is directly west. Right now we've got a southern flow of wind blowing that way, which I don't like being in here with that because the deer bed that way, but it is what it is for now. I mean, it is July, so hopefully they forget about this incursion. Anyway, so the deer have been traveling up and down this road right here and either heading straight out that way or going up right up here, and I have a camera right there. And I've been catching those bucks coming back and forth across there at all different times of the day right now. So I want to hurry up and get this set, brushed in, get out. This is where we're going to put the stand. Now, there's a deer bed right here, which worries me slightly, but it looks like it's probably a doe bed from this winter. There's a bunch of old droppings in here, and there's a whole bunch of this kind of stuff here from winter browsing. So it's kind of what it looks like. I know the bucks don't generally bed right here. They may at night. So I'm hoping this doesn't really blow things up. I don't think it will. I really get a feeling that it's not buck sign. It's definitely does. There's like a bunch of different beds all in here. Some tracks. Nothing fresh. Nothing's been bedded here for quite some time. So it's probably winter. So let's show you what we got. I don't normally like being up on knobs, but the wind goes up this way during the early the morning and down at night, and the deer seem to be coming from over there, so they're going to crosswind that trail and this trail here that goes straight out. They're going to crosswind it, so I should be safe right here. Plus with the zero trace, that's a little added insurance that I should be safe. I'm up high out of their view, kind of like being in a tree stand, and we're going to be brushed in really good right here. They feel safe using this opening, plus they're browsing in here quite a bit. They're not bedding that far away, probably 500 yards to the west, so we're really close to bedding. So that said, I'm going to set the camera up over here. I'm going to set the tent blind up. It's always hard to get it set up in the right angle you want, especially on uneven ground. Sometimes you just gotta get it set up and keep messing, kitty cornering it and stuff until you get to where you want to be. Now the hardest part here is when they're moving up this road, I have to be able to see them. So you want to have it so your window is basically like this, facing in the direction the deer may be coming from. We're going to grab our chair, we're going to get inside of this thing, and we're going to sit as if we're actually hunting. And then we can, from inside, we can really get a better idea of how we want our windows facing and set up. Don't worry so much about how the tent blind sets in there. As long as you can get in there and be able to shoot your bow without shooting through the side of the tent. And I get a feeling I'm going to be pretty low with this chair. I may have to bring a taller chair because I'm vertically challenged. Those of you who know me know that. Those of you who don't, sometimes I do a really good job of trying to hide the fact that I'm well under 6 feet tall. So, we'll get in there, we'll mess around. Side note, it seems like everything that's built for hunting, they take the average height of a man, which is between 5'10" and 6 foot, and make it for that guy. There's very little stuff that's made for really, really tall guys or really short guys. Everything's for that mid-range. Obviously, that makes good market sense. But, once again, here's some more ideas for people. Start making stuff for short people, or for really tall people. Alright, we're in the tent blind. I'm going to show you my 3
shooting lanes. Now the thing is, there's brush in front of the windows right now. That's fine. I can move that stuff out of the way when I get in the tent blind to hunt. I'm going to leave it there just kind of to cover up the front a little bit. So here's the first one. If you look straight down here, there's an old logging road that goes out and another one that comes this way. This is the main shooting zone right there. I can always shoot through here too. Once I'll move that stick over one way or another, probably off this way when I get into the blind to hunt. And then I've got one more right over here. This one here is not going to work as a shooting lane. I've got a tree right in the way here and some brush, which I'm going to leave. This is just an observation. So basically this is how I'll run them so these are up like this so I can see if something's coming, but they can't see me. I'll leave these open and leave that open. These ones here, these ones back here, we got to make sure they stay closed. And so that little sliver of window is gonna, just like that. I don't want any light other than what's coming in from the front coming in here. We're shaded really good in the back. So today I've got a southeast flow of wind because of that crazy southern storm that came up. The wind's at my back blowing this way. During the hunting season, the wind's going to be coming from that way. It's going to be coming from the west-northwest, which is this way. The deer are going to come down this hill. They're going to come down this hill and they're going to come up that road and maybe this road. So I'm in a perfect position for wind. With the zero trace, that's just added security. So this is our bow spot for these big bucks. So I'm going to get these windows closed up, get the VH1 on here, the deer herd in the stick, put the camera out. I'll show you a view from the front, from what the deer are going to see here, and then we're out of here. Alright, we get the tent line all set up. It's brushed in. We brushed all in the front piece where they're going to see it. It's not important in the back because we're brushed in good in the back. We've cut a little trail here so I can get in really quiet. Not anything anybody's going to notice. Just a few branches here and there so I can get in, carry my bow without it getting caught on all kinds of stuff. We'll show you a front view when we get down here. We're going to set the camera down right in front someplace so we get pictures and see how close the deer are getting and which deer are coming by it. Alright, our camera is set right there. It's facing right there. The tent blind is right up on this hill. So let's go take a look at that. So, one more look at that. Can you see it in there? It's hidden pretty good. There it is. That's how you brush them in, guys. You can't let them just hang out there. You can see we got this road here. They're coming out of that road. They're coming down off this hill and they're coming out of here. So this is basically, this area is right where they're going to be. I got that camera there. I don't really like it there. I'd rather have it right here, but it's going to be right in their direct line of sight. And I have one here already. So basically this one is to see how close they come to that. Okay, so the tent blind's in. Took a little bit longer than I thought, but trying to find the perfect place to put it was pretty tough. But I think where we put it is a great choice. It's far enough off from the main trails that they're traveling, yet close enough to make a good ethical shot. That's always key, a good ethical shot. You don't want to be taking 40 and 50 yard shots. I don't care how good you are on 3D range. 40 and 50 yard shots, no matter how fast your bow is, that deer is going to duck. So the closer you can get, the better off you're going to be, as far as I'm concerned with a bow. I'm not no bow expert, but from what I can tell, that's pretty good information. Anyways, we've set that up pretty darn good on that trail so we can intersect them. We've got 4 trails coming all together in that one little section they have to pass through, which is great because I've got lots of pictures of them passing back and forth through there. And they're coming through at all hours of the day, early morning, midday, late evening.
coming through that spot. It's a great spot, even early season, for an all-day sit. And I believe that right now, the reason I'm seeing them, and I'll see them in the fall in September, because I don't think this heat's going to subside. So the main concern is water. They're up on that hill bedding about 500, 600, maybe closer. It could be 400 yards from where I'm set up. But they're coming down to drink into the swamp, and then they're going back up. So putting that there is a pretty good spot. If this heat doesn't subside, if it stays hot, like it's, the key thing is going to be water, without a doubt. So keep that in mind. It's time now to go start setting your stands up in July. You have to do it now. And it's because those deer have to get used to that thing being there. Deer will get spooked out by a fallen tree. The trail that they've traveled forever gets a fallen tree on it. The first time they encounter it, they're spooked by it. Okay? After a while, they get normalized to it, and they'll keep going. Same thing with that tent blind. They're going to be, hopefully they won't notice it too much. They may. They're deer. So hopefully they get used to it before I have to go in there and hunt it, which normally if I put it in June, July, and let it sit until September, by the time September rolls around, they're sitting by it, they're bedding next to it, they're walking in front of it and eating, and they don't care, because it's something that the human sense missing from it. It stopped being a dangerous item, and now it's just part of the landscape. So that's why we put them in early. You throw more brush on them at this time of year, and when you get in it, you just bring a set of clippers, clip off what you need, pull the window down, clip off what you need, make your shooting holes, and then hunt. But right now, brush that sucker in there. Make it so it looks like it's part of the landscape. It's the only way you're going to trick those deer into thinking that it's a safe thing to walk by. And trust me, they'll walk by that. So what I have is, I've said this a number of times, but I have 2 mature bucks that are passing through that section almost daily. They move through it on different trails, different intervals, but they're both coming through that section at least once a day. So patterning them with the cameras has been my key through there. And what I'll do is I'll put the cameras out and I'll leave it for a month and a half, and then I go back. The only thing I'm using in there as an attractant, if you want to call it that, is Black Widow Extreme Interest. And that's more to get them to stop in front of the camera and sniff it than it is anything else. It doesn't attract them. They call it an attractant, or an all-season curiosity smell. It doesn't attract them there from a mile away, but when they're walking through and they smell it, they stop and they sniff it. And you'll see that in a lot of the pictures of the deer stopping and looking at a stump or looking at a branch. It's because I've put some of that on it, and they stop to smell it to see what it is. Get your tent blinds out early. Alright, that's one. Pick a great spot that you know that they're going to pass through. Try to put it between whatever it's going to be, whether it's bedding and feeding, bedding and water. Put it in a spot that they're not going to notice it as much. I'm off that trail, they're up and down, I'm off to the side. Try to get as close to that trail as possible without alarming the deer. So you're talking somewhere, I would try to keep it within 40 yards. Oh, chair. Make sure the chair you use is the right height. I grabbed one that's too short. I need one that's about 1 inch to 2 inches taller. That's fairly easy to do. All I'm going to do is, I have a couple at the house that are a little bit taller, so I'll grab those and I'll put those in. It'll make it a lot easier for me to shoot, because the tent blind's kind of on a downhill angle facing the road. So you're going to need a taller chair so you can be up fine. Just make sure you have the right chair, because you don't want to be too low and shoot and have that arrow go through the side of your tent instead of through the window. Screen or no screen? There's a question. I use the screen up. I'll shoot right through it. I use fixed head broadheads. I don't use expandables. I'd imagine maybe with an expandable you shoot through a screen, it's gonna employ it and or deploy it, excuse me, and make it fly funny. I don't know. So tent blinds up. We put the deer herd on a stick all over it. Kind of keep the smell down, kind of have that calming scent to it. Brushed it in really good, hidden it really good, sat in it, looked out the windows, everything looks like it's supposed to. We tied it off the trees so the wind ain't gonna blow it away. We pinned it, everything's done. Now we have to let that sucker steep and take on the flavor of the woods, suck in all them outdoorsy smells that disperse all the humans garage smells and everything else. It's been outside on my yard for 2 weeks in the sun, so most of that should be gone. But now it'll get out there and take on the aroma and the flavors of this spot. So I'm going to get in my truck and I'm going to go home and put my shorts back on and take these rubber boots off because I feel like I'm walking in water right now. That's how hot it is. Anyways, away we go.